We are going to make some really cool Halloween picture frames for under £5. These ones were 3 for £3, so £1 each, and we need to use our Cricut machine obviously, and any vinyl card that you already own. So yes, we are going to be making pictures for under £5. So first of all, within Design Space, I'm going to make my rectangle. I'm going to come over to the Shapes tab here, and I can either make the one with a rounded edge, which is what I tend to prefer, or I can make the sharp edge. I like a rounded edge because it gives me a little bit more space to work with. And then I'm just going to change the dimensions. So mine is approximately 13 centimeters by 18. Okay, so this is the rough size that I am working with. I think I'm going to start with black for the background. I like quite a classic black. Obviously you don't need to change this here, but it just helps to look like what it's going to look like. I'm going to go over to editable images, and then I'm going to search for ghost. There we go. This is my ghost that I want, my coffee ghost. Add to canvas. Right, so again, let us open up the group. We want this guy, and we want this guy in white. Bring you over here. Let's get rid of Ghouls Love Coffee because I'm not really a fan of that phrase. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I think it needs something else. Let me just bring that into the center. So I'm just going to align it horizontally. Perfect. Let's go back to our editable images and let's just search for Halloween. Bing. So maybe I could do some bats. Bats are quite cute. There we go. So I like these bats. Add to canvas. So I think I want a small selection of white bats in the corner. There we go. Now do I want this guy off center? Yeah, I think that's very cute. So I bought a new cutting mat, or about 5 for this occasion, because I cleaned mine many times and it was just too dead for me. I still have it, so I might re-stick that. But anyway, I'm going to try with this one. This is the first off Cricut brand mat that I have bought, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's give it a go. And then we're just gonna press go. Boom. Easy as that. This is Smart Permanent White Vinyl. So this is the Smart Vinyl, so I don't actually need to do anything other than load it. And we press go. So now I'm ready to make everything. So I'm going to go slower. So it's now time to get out the photo frame and then assemble everything and see what it looks like. That cute is about there. Oh, I love it. So cute. And again, these ones can be wonky because they're just flying. But I think there's quite cool. I like to eyeball things. So when it said it was an approximate size, it was an approximate size. So it's a tiny bit too big, but that's why I left plenty of side space. So I'm going to chop it down on the side where the ghost is, just a little bit so I can fit it in the photo frame. Ready? Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I'm so happy with that. So here we have my first of 3 frames, just with a little ghost and some bats, and I just think this is so cute. And then I'm going to make the other 2 in just a moment, and I will show you those when I am done. I almost printed something that was meant to be black on the white, but I managed to pause myself after like 1 cut, so that was annoying. I'm going to make a cute little ghost decoration. So for this one we need some sort of container. It can be much smaller than this. It can be open-topped, whatever you like. A little bit of glue, a bandage. We need a candle. I'm going to go for a little battery operated one because it's going to be near some cloth. And then googly eyes. So this is our little stash. And what we're going to do is basically glue the bandage to our container, wrap it all the way around. Hey presto, we are done. So this should be a really quick craft. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't meant to have this bandage in the middle, but I think we can make it work. So it's fine. Over, up to the top, over, over. Oh, this is gonna look good actually. And then see if I can get it to just cover that little bit at the bottom. Perfect. And just need a little bit more glue at the base here. Come on, glue, be my friend. There we go. Just take a little look around. Wonderful. And then we're just gonna get our googly eyes and then fix them on top like this. How cute. So these ones should be self-adhesive. Googly eyes, googly eyes. And last but not least, candle. So this was one of the cheapest, quickest crafts I've made, especially in a long time. You can't see what the candle is still on in there. So this one's really, really cute. I could obviously take the candle out and have it as a drink if I wanted to, but I'm actually just going to keep it as this because I think it's just so cute. Let's make some Halloween pumpkin treat boxes. So for this one, I'm using my cutting mat. I'm going to use the green one and the blue one. Then we have different coloured card, black vinyl. I've also got white vinyl, transfer tape, cutting tools, and of course, the most important thing. From Design Space, we are going to go into our projects and we're going to look for pumpkin treat or treat box. Let's see. This is cute. This one I liked as well. This one's cute. Right, let's edit a copy. So I'm trying to see if they have the score lines perfect. So they've got the score lines already. So I'm just going to make them all. How big is this? 20. Let me measure my card. We have everything ready. So I've already got the score lines. I've got the orange. I've got the vinyl. I think they're all the same size. So I'm going to hide everything, all but one. Hide the guys. Right, so I've just got one. So I'm just going to hide this. Make on the mat. And that will fit one piece. I'm going to go continue. I'm going to start by attaching my card to my mat. So I'm just going to use the blue mat to start with. So let's take off the top. And right in the corner. Right. Don't be like me and forget to check the orientation on your mat, because in my mind it makes sense to go a certain way, and in real life it was not a certain way. Right, round two, let's go. I've just cut out the 4 colours that I want, which is the pumpkin, the ghoul, the bat and the ghost, and now I need to do the same with the vinyl. I'm going to use permanent vinyl just because that's what I happen to have to hand, and then we're almost done. So these are all 3 in black and then this one's white. So I think I'm going to make these 3 black first. So if I hide the bat, and I'm going to show everything. Oops. I'm going to cut now. So it's just going to be these 3. So these are going to be in black. And I'm going to go to make, and I'm going to do them on the mat, even though it's smart vinyl, because I think I've got some scraps I can use. And then these are all going to come up nice and close next to each other, which is perfect. So now everything is cut out. I'm just going to weed the vinyl. So these hopefully should come out really quick and easy. Wonderful. And this last one, when weeding goes well, oh, it just makes me so happy. Right. I always have to remember which piece of transfer paper goes with which thing, because sometimes the transfer paper is not quite the same size. Now we are going to weed as you expect. So I'm just going to take the back of the transfer paper off and then pop this one on top, making sure it fits. And then I'm going to use my scraper tool to scrape it down. Everything has now been cut, weeded, I've attached the transfer paper, and I've done my bat to start with. So I'm just going to add all of the faces to the boxes, and I'm going to make sure that, if you can see, the perforated lines are on the outside so I can fold it back in on itself. So let's just do that bit now. So I just like to peel the transfer paper, the backing, back on itself because it helps me stick down anything that might not want to stick down. So it just gives me a last chance to press it down properly. We are now ready to add our sweets and make our little boxes. So my top tip is to bend the edges so they kind of round in, because I didn't do that the first time, and you can see here I've ripped it. I've sellotaped it back together because I didn't want to cut another one, but we fixed it, so it's fine. Starburst is what I'm going for. So taking the handles and bending them in, and then I'm going to hold the handles together like a little handbag. So there, bounce, bounce, bounce. And then I'm going to do the same with the edges. I'm going to lift it up, over, and then hopefully I can slot this one over the two handles perfectly like this. And then I'm going to turn it around, and I've got my hole for my sweets. So I've made this one just smaller than an A4 size piece of paper, and I can fit about, well, I can fit more than that in, but I've got 5 starbursts in there for the moment. And then I'm just going to bend the other edge, go over the top, get the two handles through, and then this bit, once the handles are in, you need to puff it up a little bit so that it stays in place. So let us just flick to having them all done. And there we have it, 4 little treat boxes. So I'm really happy with how these ones turned out. They're super cute, super easy to make once you understand that you need to bend them and not break them. And you can actually fit a surprising amount of sweets in for just an A4 sheet of card. I'm going to make a cool potion spell book using books I already have. So I've got hardback books that one I've already read and one I haven't read, but this isn't going to ruin the book, so that is fine. And we are going to paint the cover of the book, and then we're going to use the Cricut to print some sort of pretty potion title page on it, so that's going to be quite cool. So the first one is done. I think I'm just going to need a second coat, so I'm going to let this dry overnight, and then I will come back and do a second coat. The other book is already black, I've just figured out, so I'm just going to have to do the spine, but if it doesn't look great then I'll do the whole thing, but I'm hoping I can get away with just doing the spine because I'm lazy, and that would be amazing. So I decided to paint all of the second book black as well because it looked funny if I just did the spine. So I've done the whole thing. I think that one's only going to need one coat because it was quite, let's say, thirsty material, so it's been soaking up the paint, whereas I think the one, where did I even put it, over there, I think that's going to need a little bit more time and then a second coat. And then we're going to hop straight on to design space, and we're going to make our cover and our spine cover. Do you cover a spine? So all I need is the yellow, and I need to make sure that that fits. So this one is going to be 11 by 13, 11 by 16. So it needs to be 11 by 16. So this is smart vinyl, so I'm actually not going to use the matte, which is a lot easier. So smart vinyl permanent. So this is moment of truth for the first book. Some of it is slightly more intricate than I thought, especially since making it small enough to fit on this book, but the writing I think will be fine. It's just there's a little bit of detail at the bottom of the front page that might be too small, so we'll find out. I cannot tell you how long that took. That was such a ridiculous amount of time. I had some tea, I tidied up, I just did some admin, like it took so long, but it's looking really, really good. I know you can't really see much, but you will see it shortly, but it's that bit there right in the middle that I'm not 100% sure how well it's going to weed, but the rest of it is looking really good. So I'm just going to cut it out, weed it, use transfer paper, pop it on, tiny book, and then this one's done. So putting that design onto the book didn't actually work because the edges kind of folded in on themselves, so it just looked a bit rubbish. So I've just gone into Design Space and actually kind of made my own version of the same thing. So I'm just cutting that out again. I don't know if you ever have moments where you just get so frustrated and you just can't fix something and you just have to start again. So yeah, that happened. So I'm going to reverse weed on the most intricate bit, and then this one should be done in a second. Okay, this one's done. So I'm just going to weed this one as normal and put that one on, and then this one I'm going to reverse weed, which I've not really done before, so we'll see how this goes. So the first book is done, and it was a bit of a stressful process. It took about an hour just to get the vinyl all sorted out and put on. I'm happy enough with the back. I think that looks really nice and I really love the spine. I'm not too happy about the front because it's wonky. But at this point, I'd already had to redo this front bit twice on the back and I'd ruined it once. So you know what? A wonky spellbook I think is fine. I've left these bits at the front. It didn't print out everything that I wanted to or cut out everything that I wanted it to, but I think that actually looks like it's kind of meant to be like that, so it's fine. So I think the only thing I need to do now is just have a little bit of a touch up on the paint where the transfer paper has pulled it off a little bit. But otherwise, for a first attempt, I learnt a lot. So I think for this one, I'm going to go back into Design Space and I'm going to make it much more simple. I think I'm going to ignore any borders. I'm going to delete anything that's got really kind of intricate design and I just want to make it simple and easy. I need an easy life right now. I need a win. So I have a little bit more hope that this one is going to go a little bit better than the last one. But we will find out, I guess. So this actually cut out so much better than I thought it would do. So I have a little bit more hope that this one might go a bit better than the last one. And there's no kind of borders or edges, so it doesn't really matter where it goes on the book. So fingers crossed this one's gonna look really good. Okay, so I'm not really gonna line it up too much. I think that looks fine. I'm amazed that these stars have actually stayed on. Ooh. I am really happy with how this one has turned out. So little book of spells, the beware on the side and then beware on the back. I think that looks so cool. Like I'm sure there are some imperfections, but it doesn't obviously look as wonky as the purple book. And I love it that this book actually already came with this little ribbon attached. So I think this just is gonna look so cool sitting on my shelf, and I can have this one on top, so it's just magic spells beware. I'm really excited about this next project because not only is this under £5 because it cost me £2 for the tote bag, but it gives me a chance to be a little bit fun. So we're going to design a Halloween tote bag. I'm thinking either a ghost or a witch, because then I can put something like boo to full or unbelievable or witch please on the front of it, something like that. So I'm going to go to Cricut and I'm going to get cracking on a design. Let's go to Design Space and I'm going to add my shape first of all. So this is roughly the design of my bag, or the shape of my bag. So it's about 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters and my bag is black. So I just want to make sure my colors are going to work. So I'm thinking of going either to projects, Halloween bag, just to get some, I like bag of tricks. That's quite fun. Maybe I could add a few more bats in the corner. Let's edit a copy. Okay, let's take all of this, move it onto the bag. Let's bring it to the front, change the bag to black, change everything else here to white. So this is just telling me that it's going to be too big to cut, which I know I'm not going to cut it that big, but then that at least takes that off. So let's just, bag of tricks is quite cool. I'm not sure if it just looks a little bit plain. So let me duplicate the background of this one. Let's try ghost. I want a cute ghost. I like this one because it looks happy. Okay, let's make him a white. Okay, let me try again with a witch. Okay, let's go for this one. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with this one. So now I'm just trying to think of the colour. So do I want, I've got purple. That's quite nice. And remember, we want shiny side down and mirror on. Don't be like me and do shiny side up because it's been a while. Shiny side down. Okay, so there we go. Everything is now done. I'm just going to snip the end of this off because this was a piece of scrap anyway. So if I just snip that, this is scrap for another day. So now we're going to weed our witch as well. So let's just get that one going. Weeding is done, so I'm just going to use my heat press to attach these two to the bag. So I'm just going to press the bag for 5 seconds. I know this says 30 seconds on it, so I'm actually just gonna hold it on for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause there. So hopefully this little section is good. So I think my witch is gonna be here, and then witch mode on here. I think that's about right. So I'm just going to go again. So now my heat press says 30 seconds. So I'm just going to hold this on for 30 seconds. And I like to push down a little bit, just give it a little bit of pressure. So I just followed the instructions on the app. So I pressed the bag for 5 seconds, and then I pressed these for, I think it was 30 seconds at 150 degrees. But to be honest, I always find that I actually need to do it twice. So I did actually do it twice, and it's now peel when cold. So I'm just waiting for it to cool down. It's not cold enough yet. So I'll give it a little bit of time, even though I am really impatient, and then I will peel it off. I'm really, really happy with this one. It's super easy, nothing kind of too crazy about it, but I just really love how it looks. Happy with that one. Let me know in the comments which one is your favourite make so far.